Hello, my dear darling pearls. My name is Joe. Welcome or welcome back to the channel of Delusional Theories. We are here again with more new material from Only Murders in the Building, and I will be doing the breakdown of the trailer. As usual with these trailer breakdowns, I will be watching the trailer and I will include frames of the trailer in the video, and I will be analyzing each one of them and trying to, puzzle together the events of the season and more or less what comes before and after, and what events trigger future actions and what's going to be this whole thing about. Is it an accident? Was it a murder? Is it the mob? Is it the billionaires? Who is it? Well, I'm going to try to figure as much of it out as possible in this breakdown and try to catch as many clues as possible. But before we head on to the trailer, we need to discuss kind of the leftovers from season 4. I will be doing the breakdown of season 4, and I will put all of the little clues, and I will question the unanswered questions because there is unanswered questions to bring to the table. Will they answer them in season 5? We don't know. But last season, we left on a bit of a sad note. A prominent character since season 1, Lester, was found murdered in the fountain of the courtyard of the Arconia. And there's a few things to keep in mind for this before we watch this trailer. Thing number 1 is Lester was kind of already missing since the wedding. I think he was only found the day after in the fountain, but if you remember correctly, when the trio was going back to the rooms... My cat is meowing, give me a second. I think she just wants a little company. Anyway, she's in my bed now. What was I saying? If you remember correctly, when the lady, what's her name? Sophia. When Sophia went to the trio in the Arconia saying, my husband is missing. Actually, she's not Southern. Saying, my husband is missing, please go investigate. When she approached the trio on the elevators, she said, there was no doorman, so I just came in and I went into your apartment. So Lester has been missing or had been missing since the wedding. Whatever happened with the mob, we will see the trailer in a minute, it happened either during the wedding or before. No, because we saw Lester talking to Charles and he was saying, I have something to talk to you about. I have something serious to discuss with you. It was very much Saz ending of season 3, wasn't it? So he was going to talk to Charles about something, and then during the wedding, something happened to him. He disappeared. He was nowhere to be seen in the Arconia, and this lady, Sofia Casimelio, walked into the building, went upstairs to the apartment, saw no one, came back down, and then approached Charles and Mabel, saying that she wanted to hire them to look for her husband, Nikki Casimelio, who we saw previously on the news was missing. We saw this when Glen was in the hospital after being shot. So middle ending, like episode 7, I think, or 8 of, or maybe before. Yeah, of season 4. So he went missing around that time. Then the police did nothing, apparently, and at the end of the season, his wife Sophia approached the trio to hire them to investigate his death. And when the trio was like, no, we only investigate murders in the building, we only investigate murders related to the Arconia, we can't investigate your husband's disappearance. And she said, no, you don't understand. His disappearance has everything to do with the Arconia. So sorry, a little bit of an interruption there, but what was I saying? Nikki's wife Sophia approached the trio and tried to make them to investigate his disappearance, but they didn't want to because, as Charles and Mabel pointed out, they only do murders in the building. It's in the name. But the lady was like, no, you don't understand. Nikki's disappearance has everything to do with the Arconia. And how could that be? Well, Nikki Casimilio is also known as the Neck, for reasons that we will eventually find out, I assume. And he is known as the dry cleaning king of Brooklyn. And Only Murders in the Building is the perfect type of show to be making those laundering money at a laundromat kind of thing. It's not a laundromat, it's a dry cleaning place, but the joke is right there. Anyway, this guy has ties to the Caputo crime family. And we are assuming that the Caputo crime family are the mobsters in the season that we're going to be talking about, because this season is about the mob and the casino. Last season, freaky directors in Hollywood. we're done with that. Now it's the mobster and the casino. We see a casino in the trailer. We see casino references in the animation. This is the season of laundering money and dealing with rich criminals. But what we can assume from this little interaction at the end of season 4 is that Nikki's disappearance is related to the Caputo family, which is related to mobs... which is related to mobster business and is somehow related to the reason that Nikki has disappeared. How is this related to Lester's death? Well, Lester has to be involved with the Caputo family in some way. Maybe the reason that Nikki was disappeared is the same reason that Lester was murdered. It has been speculated for a long time by the fans that there's some kind of organized crime happening in the Arconia. And if there was some kind of organized crime happening in the Arconia, because Arconia is a pretty rich building. I mean, rich people must be living there. Howard, how do you pay for your apartment? It has been speculated that some form of crime, organized crimes happening in Arconia, and Lester has been a person involved in some of this speculation. Lester, Howard, and a few of other people, I think. And given this speculation that has been happening, the fact that Nikki is connected to the mobsters in New York, the Caputo family, and all of this seems to be connected to Lester's death, we can assume that there was some shady business happening in the Arconia because, I mean, Sophia could be saying that it is related to the Arconia just to get them to investigate, but come on. That would be so shitty. So there has to be some ties between this mobster family, the Nikki business of laundering money, and Lester. And maybe other people in the building. So with all of this in mind, let's watch the trailer, let's look out for some clues, let me get closer to my mic because I feel like the audio is gonna be shit, and let's try to figure out what's going to happen in this season and what clues we can take out of the trailer. Very first scene, immediately Lester in the coffin, wearing his uniform. Isn't that a little weird in itself that his job was that important part of his life that he's wearing his uniform? Could it be that he is so poor that he does not have money to afford a proper suit for the funeral? No, because he's for sure involved in the mafia. Then we see the first shot of murder board number 5 or number 11. We don't know, but it's the 5th season murder board. It's very empty right now. It has the who, the how, the why, and the why now. And it has Lester's photo. And we see the trio as they are receiving a text from Detective Williams, probably, saying the police is ruling this as an accident. So I'm assuming this is going to be one of the major questions in the beginning of the season. Was this an accident? Then we have this shot of Uma and Howard crying, looking inside of an apartment door, supposedly in Arconia. This confused me for so long because I've watched this trailer so many times at this point, and this shot always confused me, but I think I have the answer to it and I'll come back to it in a second. Then we see the shots of Lester seeing the mobster. This guy with the black suit and the white flower is meeting Lester in the goddamn dry cleaning business that belonged to Nikki. We can assume that this was after Nikki disappeared and before the wedding, because we do see Lester at the wedding or around the time of the wedding when he talks to Charles. So Lester was seeing this mobster for some reason. Lester looks scared. However, there is also a shot of Lester. I mean, we can assume it's in the Arconia or in another similar building, and the very same mobster wearing a very cute white tuxedo is giving Lester an envelope of cash. This man in the white tuxedo is definitely going on to the casino. Maybe he's the man who owns the casino. And we know, I'm going to give this to you right now, we know that the casino is in a building close to the Arconia, because when the guys find the dead body, they bring it to the Arconia through the streets of New York. So wherever the building that has the casino is at, so sorry, English is my second language. It's close enough to the Arconia that Oliver could transport the goddamn body. And they find the body in the laundromat, which I'm assuming... But you know what? Maybe the building isn't in New York, because if the body was found in a laundromat and laundromat is in Brooklyn, maybe the casino building could be somewhere else. But then, no, it has to be New York. Then we have the shot of Detective Williams saying, "We found a finger." And we see the finger rolling out from ice. And I think everyone that's watching this trailer is assuming the finger belongs to Lester. And I mean, the trio assumes the finger belongs to Lester, because then we have that hilarious, silly ass moment where Charles is literally climbing on top of Lester to see if he's missing a finger. However, I'm thinking that the finger belongs to Nikki and was potentially sent to Nikki's wife, Sophia. Because why would they cut the finger off of Lester? You know, they would have, especially because he showed up at the fountain so close, so soon after the wedding. I mean, I have to go back and watch that episode because maybe it wasn't that soon after the wedding. Let me check. Yeah, this was either in the same day as of the wedding or the day after the wedding. I think it was the day after the wedding that they found the body. And Lester still talked to Charles the day of the wedding. So he couldn't have been disappeared for that long. I mean, if someone is going to cut off your finger and send it to your spouse to ask for money, surely they are willing to wait for more than a few hours. So the finger has to belong to Nikki, right? They cut off his finger and sent it to his wife to ask for money, because if Nikki is the laundry king of Brooklyn and he's known for laundering money at a laundromat or the dry cleaning where he works, they would assume that he's loaded, that he has money. So maybe someone kidnapped him, cut off his finger, sent it to his wife with a ransom demand, and was like, if you don't give us the money, we'll cut more than his finger. And she couldn't meet the demand or didn't want to meet the demand. And that's where we find them in the season. But this is my bet for now. The finger belongs to Nikki. But then the trio assume that the finger belongs to Lester, so they're thinking of going to the funeral. And before they go to the funeral, we get a Godfather reference because, of course, of course. I have not seen The Godfather, and I don't know that I ever will. Never seen Star Wars, Star Trek. Never seen Mulholland Drive, never seen Psycho, never seen Beautiful Life, Sound of Music. I love Apocalypse Now, though. I love that one. But also in this shot where they are saying, no way, a man loses his finger and it wasn't a murder. No way. And the shot has a picture of an Instagram photo or something with, I assume, is the gangster with the white flower on his jacket. And it looks like it was the same day that he met Lester at the laundromat. And a lady, now the lady, no way in hell that lady is not Sophia Casamilio. So potentially the day that Lester died, or the day before Lester died, or around the time where Lester died, the mobster that was supposedly after Lester or paying Lester was taking a photo with Nikki's wife. So they were close. So if Nikki was in close relations with the mobster, why would he kidnap the mobster? Why would he kidnap Ricky? Nikki. There's no way that's not the mobster and Nikki's wife. But if Nikki was laundering money for the mobster, or if Nikki was laundering money for his own business but was in close relations with the mobster, why would the mobster kidnap him? This implies a third party, a third person who did this to Nikki. Who could it be? A rival mob? A rival mafia? Or could this have been a plot from the mobster to get Nikki away from his wife so that he could marry his wife? Because, I mean, if the mobster was paying Lester, why would he want to take out Lester? Maybe because Lester knew what happened to Nikki and the mobster was trying to hide away what happened. Maybe that's what Lester was going to discuss with Charles about, was going to talk to Charles about, is the fact that Nikki disappeared because this mobster that has ties to the building disappeared him to marry his wife or for some other reason. So with the information that there's a missing finger, with the information that this mobster is close to Nikki's family, Nikki's wife, and the mobster and potentially Nikki's wife as the prime suspects, the idiot trio goes to face the mobster family at their house. They go to their house. And this is the scene that we see of them in the ferry with Mabel carrying the biggest water bottle. Oh my god, the Stanley Cup. I love the show. The way that, like, they are in the mob family and it's just the trio chilling, trying to meet the mob kids, Winnie, Dini, Bini, Trini, and Mabel is just there carrying a Stanley Cup. I mean, this show gets away with the most obvious product placements and we all just laugh at it, don't we? That house is so goddamn hideous. It's so dark. So why are there flowers on the chairs? Then we see a shot of Mabel and Charles at the casino. Potentially the casino that is run by the mob family. While Mabel is saying something is not adding up, with them potentially figuring out that maybe it wasn't the mob family. And this is when we get introduced to amazing, like the casting this season. The casting is always amazing. It has always been amazing since the very beginning, but this season they got like, I mean, that's the guy that played that villain in Inglourious Bastards. That's the guy. It's him. That's the guy that was in Django. That's him. And then Logan Lerman, which we adore from Perks of Being a Wallflower, and Renee Zellweger. Like, this lady has won an Oscar, at least one. I'm pretty sure. So the casting is insane. I mean, the casting has always been insane, but this season is really like, it's Only Murders in the Building really feels like the summer camp of Hollywood actors, right? Like, we're going to go here, we're going to make a great season of television, and we're going to have fun the whole time. You know, like if they brought back Mamma Mia, they made it a yearly thing, and they made it in New York in the autumn. So in this ballroom scene where Mabel, Charles, and Oliver went to investigate, I'm assuming that they went there to investigate with the help of the mob family, because why would they go there against, like, if the mob family was against them and it was like, do not investigate us, we will kill you, they wouldn't have gone to their goddamn casino. So I'm assuming they are at the casino with the permission of the mob family, trying to, like, I don't know. But when they are there, these 3 billionaires appear and it kind of looks like they are investigating as well. Could it be that these 3 people are the investigative trio of the building where the casino is at? Like our trio are the investigative trio of the Arconia? So now we have a few scenes of a trio, like investigating, considering the billionaires suspects and talking about it in their apartment. And I mean, this is, I'm assuming, the midway point through the season where they have kind of discarded the mob as a suspect and they're going to the billionaires. And we see the scene of Oliver carrying the body through the streets of New York. And he is at the entrance of the Arconia. So I'm assuming that this is when he takes the body inside the Arconia. But the body is in a big cart of laundry clothes. A bunch of laundry clothes in their laundry plastic bags. So I'm assuming that he found this dead body at the laundromat, at the dry cleaning place that is owned by Nikki. However, the employee, the person that we see, I don't know, we only see his hand, and he has like a wedding ring, and it looks like he has a uniform. It looks like he has a uniform either from the Arconia or from the casino. So I'm thinking that this is an employee that was working either at the Arconia or at the casino for the mob, like Lester was working for the mob. And this is the second person who is killed in this little network of organized crime where they have people everywhere controlling the network, controlling the flow of cash, controlling whatever crimes they are committing. And whatever reason is behind these murders, this is just the second body dropped. This is the second body dropped, and I think this is connected to a scene that we'll get to in a second. But then, before we see them carrying the body upstairs in the elevator, we see the very same scene where the trio was saying, maybe the billionaires did it. And the literal billionaires knock, knock, knock on their door and start investigating them. This is what it feels like. Right? It's a trio. It's another trio of billionaires. It's another trio of two old-ass people and one young dude. Two men, one woman. It's just that the younger one is the dude, and then one of the older people is the woman. So the new trio comes to their apartment and is like, oh, you found a dead body? I'm sure you took it to the police, right? Wrong. So they got them. They got our trio in an issue because they can go to the police and say, oh, they found a dead body. Maybe they killed a dead body, and they will be in trouble. So I think this is the moment where they join forces to investigate whatever the hell is happening, because maybe the deaths that are happening are in both buildings. Both our trio's building are the Arconia, and the new trio's building, the casino building. So then we get the elevator scene where another guest throws a trash bag on the cart with the body, and they hide the hand of the body. And the hand is wearing like a shirt and a suit. Maybe it isn't an employee. I need to look at the cuffs of Lester's. Do we see the cuffs of Lester's suits? Because this guy has a shirt with like a red stripe on it. And I feel like if it was like a casino member, like a person like going to the casino, it would be like a blank shirt. But because we see a little red line on the shirt, I feel like it's a uniform. And so because the billionaires are accusing the trio of committing a crime, hiding a body, they just band together. They band together and they're going to solve this together, I'm assuming. We see Charles at the casino. We see Oliver at the dry cleaning place where he finds something. Potentially this is when he finds the body and then puts it in the cart at the dry cleaning place and brings it to the Arconia. We see Howard, so he will be around somehow. And we see Meryl Streep. We see Loretta. She'll be coming back, helping with the murder. It's really cute. We also see the mobster with a white flower again, but it seems like it's a third suit. I'm assuming a third scene. And we also see Charles at the same place. So I have a feeling that at some point, Charles is going to meet the mob dude at the laundromat that belonged to Nikki, because maybe that's where they conduct business from, and either he gets a meeting or he like gets a jump on him or something, because we later see Charles at the laundromat being not chased, but like there's a police officer right behind him. So maybe he met with the mobster there, then the mobster left and called the police on him to go catch him doing something suspicious. I don't know, to put the blame on him or something. We also see Lester, which will probably be a flashback. And we see Beanie Feldstein. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly, but I love this girl. I have a feeling she's going to have as much relevance as roles like Amy Schumer or Sting. So let's see where that goes. No, I'm looking at Lester's cuffs and there's no red line. Maybe that was a guest. We see Pink Eye Guy again. There's no way he's gonna be guilty of anything. And we see Sophia. Because Charles, the little maniac that he is once again sleeping with a suspect. Sleeping with a potentially criminal woman. I just know that Logan Lerman is going to be an asshole, is going to be annoying to no end in his season, and I can't wait. Christoph Waltz. I cannot believe they got this man in the show. And we see the trio riding a golf cart in a mansion. We also see the actress. We also see Renee Zellweger, I think is inside a mansion. So potentially they join forces and they go to their mansion to investigate or something. And I mean, there's a scene of them when they meet with the billionaires where they are drinking champagne. So I'm assuming some kind of collaboration happens there. But yeah, we see Renee Zellweger inside of what looks like a mansion saying the only way to beat your opponent is to make them believe they are playing a different game entirely. And I'm assuming this is when the trio visits her mansion and potentially runs away on a golf cart. And when she says this, so they are at some point going to collaborate with the billionaires to catch the real killer. And one of the last episodes is going to be an infiltrated mission at the casino. We see Detective Williams dealing cards somewhere, so she is infiltrated there to spy on whatever is going on. They have a plot for sure to catch the killer. We see Mabel in a dress. Charles and Oliver are going to be there for sure. We see that the trio also consults with Pink Eye Guy because he also has theories. We see Charles cooking with Christoph Waltz, so that's gonna be fun. But I forgot to say this. The point of the dead body in the carts that they brought inside of the Arconia, I think this is the person that Howard and Uma are like about in one scene. I think the trio found the corpse, the dead body, and maybe thought they might be considered responsible for it or something, and they brought it back to the Arconia, planted it in some apartment, and then someone found it. And that's why Howard and Uma are like that, because maybe they were the people who found the dead body planted by the trio in the Arconia. For whatever reason. Let's see. Now, I'm not even going to try to venture to guess who did it, because I know for a fact we won't know until the final episode. But I kind of have some guesses as to who didn't. Sophia, they can't do the thing of Charles dating another serial killer again. Maybe she's an accomplice, if it is really the mobster that did it to try to get with her and get rid of Nikki so they could be together. I don't know why they couldn't if he was alive. And I think that the reason that Nikki was kidnapped was for money. So I don't think it would have been the mobster anyway, because if he runs a casino, he doesn't need money. He doesn't need money. So I don't think it was Sophia. I don't think it was the mobster or anyone related to the mobster's family or owning the casino if the casino is owned by the mobster. I also don't think it was the billionaire trio, because it's very clear that the billionaire trio is kind of meant to mirror our trio. They are probably the investigative trio in the building of the casino where all these murders are happening. They are probably just bored out of their minds and want to do something fun. You know, I wouldn't put it past them in the show that this billionaire trio heard about the Arconia trio solving murders and they thought, oh, what fun. Oh, what fun we can have. With all our money, we can finance this. I wouldn't put it past them. So I don't think it is the trio. I think if this is going to be, there's no news, is there, about whether this is the final season or not? It doesn't say it in the trailer, I don't think. So if this were to be the final season, I would absolutely bet it is someone we know. Like, it has to be, because if there is, this is related to the Arconia in some way. There has to be some network of organized crime, some bullshit happening in the Arconia. Lester was involved in it. The other employee was involved in it. And this is why they are being killed. There's something going on. And Nikki's disappearance, I mean, it could be just a bunch of misunderstandings as well, because Nikki's disappearance to me sounds like it is for money. You know, cutting off his finger, sending it to his wife, sounds like what the Russians would do to get money or something. So I've watched too much Criminal Minds. Leave me alone. So I feel like Nikki's disappearance could be like a thing that is unrelated, but because everyone then is so goddamn suspicious, things start happening. People start being suspicious of one another and the murders start happening, starting with Lester. So I feel like if it was the final season, they would absolutely use a character that we already know very well and has been present the whole time as the murderer or the involved person or something like that. But I don't know that it is the final season. And if they're going to have another, like, the final season to me has to be someone who was there all along. Has to be someone like that. So if this isn't the final season, there's no way it's going to be Howard. How do you make your money, Howard? How do you make your money? Are you in the network of organized crime? How do you make your money? And for sure, it's not a new trio. For sure, it's not Sophia or the mobster. I think it's someone that is not in the trailer, or someone that we are not thinking about. Maybe the girl from Booksmart. The moment I saw her, I thought, oh, it's her. She did it. The moment I saw her, I'm so sorry. I have absolutely no clues. I have no proof. I have nothing. The moment I saw her, I thought, yeah, it's her. She did it. But anyway, we'll see, you guys. This is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed the trailer and the video. Let me know what I missed and what you think is going to happen and the theories that you're already making up in your mind. This is one of the best fan bases like existing today with a show that is coming out today. You guys have so many cool ideas. I love it to the ends of the earth. Please leave me your ideas. Leave me your comments. When the reviews start, I will absolutely be mentioning people's comments and be working with your theories as well, because so many good ideas always come from you guys. So let me know in the comments. And I will be working on my recap of season 4. I will organize everything for you all the clues that led to who did it, and all the unanswered questions, because yes, after season 4, there are still unanswered questions, and we will talk about them in my future recap when I see you again. So until then, bye.